Hey, wow, cool. All right, I'll start this off. Hi, I'm Nick. It's awesome to talk to all you folks. I want to talk to you. I would love to talk to you guys about my friends Andrew and Cindy. Is that loud enough? Louder? Louder. Hello. 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 All right, so I've been friends with Andrew since we were in fourth grade, when we met during a standardized test and talked about video games the whole time and did terribly on that standardized test. But we came out really good friends, so that was pretty fun. Since then, we've done a lot together. We played Command and Conquer, Red Alert, StarCraft, Smash Original Flavor and Melee, StarCraft 2, Overwatch. We may have played a few too many video games. We also conspired to be in classes together, hung out all the time, and then even once he moved to a different city, it's still like we've kind of been doing everything together since then. So I've witnessed Andrew do a whole lot of things. He went from learning the drums in middle school to playing in a jazz band and playing paid gigs at like weddings and all over town in middle school. Middle school. He is excellent in anything that is remotely related to fencing, including badminton. Ask him sometime. He makes a pretty good case for it. He is an amazing writer of prose. He spits forth trivia like a rapid professor. He is, let's see, a brilliant programmer, creative problem solver, basically a modern day Renaissance man. But regardless of what you want to call him, he relishes challenge, hungers for nuance and detail, and loves exploring. One thing that he's always done is when he gets into something, he goes really deep. When he was like a pretty young dude, are we doing phrasing anymore? When he was just a young lad, he was super into James Bond. Tell me if you heard this one before. He's still into James Bond. So most kids would say, a week later, I'm done with this. No, he had a security clearance before he was out of college. And while he can't really tell me about the weird and crazy stuff he does now, he and Cindy did manage to break into Becca's and my hotel room on our wedding day to steal our marriage license, which we'd forgotten there. So yeah, it was pretty cool. Anyway, so that's like a primary characteristic of his. He gets into something and he really goes for it. That's kind of what makes him amazing, because this applies to everything in his life, his friendships, everything, except for, well, never mind, I won't talk about that. Anyway, so when he falls, though, he falls hard. His sweet tooth is legendary. I think he's personally financing his dentist's vacation home. His love for puns it shows no sign of ever dying out, as all of you know. I'm so sorry. And his love for Cindy is infinite. I haven't known Cindy for nearly as long as I've known Drew, but when we met and hung out over like cocktails and hipster gazing in Chicago at an 80s bar, I knew they were perfect for each other. She and Andrew share a lot of characteristics. Their undying commitment to the people they love, their hunger for adventure and new challenges, and razor-sharp wit. I could watch Andrew and Cindy lovingly antagonize each other for the rest of my life, and now it appears that I will actually be able to do just that. She and Andrew constantly needle each other to be the best, most interesting people they can be, and have an absurd amount of fun doing it. I'm so happy that these two wonderful, unique people found each other and found someone who complements the other so well. I'm honored to be here to celebrate their union. And so I'd like everybody to raise their glasses and toast this brilliant, loving, and obscenely silly couple, and wish them the best now and forever. Cheers.
I've known Cindy for my entire life. I was actually born the day after her birthday, so I like to think I was her birthday gift to her. But really, Cindy has always been one of those people that I really have always looked up to. I've been through every stage in her life, whether it was her Korn heavy metal, boots up to her thighs, buckles, chains, everything in high school, to the Hello Kitty, eclectic, silly Cindy, to everything in between. I've watched her go to cosmetology school and massage therapy school and all these different things that she's accomplished. But throughout the whole thing, Cindy has always known exactly who she is, and she's never needed someone that would complete her. And I think that's what I love about Andrew so much, is he doesn't complete Cindy, he complements her. And I knew the day we got back from Bonnaroo, which is in Tennessee, we had a 10-hour trip up to Bonnaroo in my little red Fiat, and then we had a 10-hour trip on the way back. So if you've never been to Bonnaroo, you have to stay in a tent on the floor outside for like 3 or 4 days. Both of us had migraines, and both of us were miserable by the end of the trip. I drove the entire 10 hours back. Cindy slept the entire 10 hours back. And the time she wasn't asleep, she was complaining about how tired she was. So we're about 30 minutes out of Melbourne, and she calls Andrew, and she's like, Andrew, I'm just so tired. It's just been such a weekend. And he's like, don't worry, baby, I have a pot pie in the oven. Like, I've got a bath drawn. And I was like, that's it. She's found the one. This is the guy. He's not going to be like, oh, my God, shut up. It's fine. And that's what I love about Andrew, is that he's always someone that will go above and beyond. He'll wash dishes during Christmas or Thanksgiving for our family, and he goes out of his way to make Cindy happy. And that's all that I've ever wanted, is for Cindy to be happy. I love that we can go to karaoke together, and not only is Andrew going to get up and sing, but he's going to choose all cat-themed songs for Cindy. So I'm just over the moon that my cousin has not only found someone that she loves and that cherishes her, but that makes her a better person than she already is, which is perfect. So that's all I have to say. So to hear in Andrew and Cindy, another toast of this.
I'm not quite like Nick. I haven't known Carney since 4th grade. I've known him for about 5 years. But all the same, he's had a really big impact on my life in that when I think about the most sort of awkward, uncomfortable, terrible, but amazing situations I've ever been in, Carney has either been there or caused most of them. And Cindy has been involved in about 80% of those. So I hope that doesn't change now that they're married and one. I hope it only enhances the experience. So congratulations, guys.
I am the mother of the groom. Yeah, I have note cards. I had a notebook, but I left it at the table. So it's not often that I have a lot of people who love my son, or should, gathered in one place where I can brag about him or say things that probably have more meaning in front of other people sometimes, or embarrass him in public. So I was thinking of all kinds of things to share with you folks that are endearing moments of Andrew's past that have brought him to where he is today, the husband of Cindy, which I'm so grateful you took him in. But you all know him, most of you, just for the last few years. You've known him since he was an adult. Now, some of his traits started before he even came out of the womb. You all know Andrew as a gamer. He used to do gaming before he was born. He was born in France, and they do prenatal stuff very differently. And one of the things I was taught to do was play games with your child and push your stomach and see if they push back. And Andrew and I had this hand clapping thing going, but sometimes I wasn't sure if it was his backside or his heel, but he would instigate it sometimes, or I'd wake him up and we'd do it. So the gaming started pretty early. You know Andrew is a gourmet. and maybe even a chocolate aficionado. Well, he was born in Paris, and quite often it happened that people would come up to me with my baby, tiny baby, carrying him, and give us either money or chocolate. Here is some chocolate for your baby. He is so beautiful. Oh, what a gorgeous baby. Give some money, buy him chocolate. I don't know why this happened in France. I didn't hear of other people getting this happening to them, so that just told me Andrew's really special. Chocolate was coming his way already, money to buy more chocolate in the future. Andrew is being really great at horrible puns, or really horrible at great puns. And this started thanks to my lineage, and we attribute it to my dad. So before Andrew could do punning, it was knock-knock jokes he would practice. And it used to drive my dad nuts that Andrew took a while to catch on to the whole twist of a knock-knock joke. So for a couple of years, it would be, knock-knock, who's there? Jack. Jack who? Jack Frost. So, who's there? Is it Robin Hood? And just the first knock-knock that he got was with my dad's name. My dad's named Arthur. And it was, knock, knock, who's there? Arthur. Arthur who? Our thermometer's broken. And the second one was, knock, knock, who's there? Andrew. Andrew who? Andrew know who's going to fix it. Andrew, he did fencing in college. And fencing started a lot earlier than when he got a real sword in his hand. It started when he was Peter Pan, and he was 3.5 for Halloween. And to put in his little sword holster in his Peter Pan costume was a wooden spoon. And that was his weapon of choice to protect himself and his sister Tinkerbell from all the evils of Never Never Land.
She chose a hammer, by the way. Much better choice.
And I really tried to have my kids raised in a way where they knew girls don't own pink, boys don't own blue. You follow what your passions are, and nobody can tell you you can't wear lipstick just because most people that visually look like you, or whatever the boundary is, wear lipstick or whatever it is. So I was really happy that Andrew just really cottoned to this idea. When he was 4, he put on his sister's one-piece swimsuit with a little ruffle at the edge, and he preferred to wear the one-piece than his Speedo that we brought from France. Now, it was very logical. He didn't care about the ruffle. It was that it was like having suspenders to be able to wear your bottoms and making sure they wouldn't inadvertently come off. Andrew spent the beginning of his life in France, where it was normal for little boys to wear tights. So when we moved to the United States and it was not normal for little boys to wear tights with their shorts, at kindergarten and first grade, mothers were coming up to me and going, he's wearing tights. I go, yeah, I dressed him. But I wanted to make sure he was comfortable with the tights, the lederhosen, the one-piece swimsuit. And that brought us to a birthday party of my mother's, where she asked us all to dress up as something surprise, as a theme. My mother was the universe with a sweatshirt as a mini skirt, and she had all the planets hanging off of her in one way or the other. Andrew coached Geraldine, who was 5, to be Frank Sinatra, wearing a suit coat that went down to the floor, a yo-yo that looked like the earth, and he taught her to lip sync to...
World on a String.
Yep. And she did it beautifully because of his guidance. Well, on the flip side of that, Andrew decided... we had this leopard mini dress that didn't quite fit Rennie at the time, but Andrew, being long and skinny, looked really good on him, and he knew it. He'd tried it on. We got him some fishnet stockings, borrowed a pair of size 11 women's flats from a friend of ours who was 6'2". He donned some fabulous red lipstick, and with that Hollywood Marilyn Monroe look of this scarf around the head so we didn't have to worry about his hair, he put on some sunglasses of my mother's, bit dorky, and he came into the house after my dad had been napping, dressed in drag as the mystery young lady. He sat on the couch. Now, we had to teach him how to swagger. He looked beautiful, little firm tush, nice thighs in those fishnets, but he walked like a clodhopper. So we practiced having him learn to swish and how to walk like a woman. Can you demonstrate, Andrew? So he nailed it. He comes in the door. My mom's getting a kick out of it. We're all oohing and ahhing. Really? My dad comes back from his nap, doesn't notice that Andrew has left the party, and says, "Why, who is this lovely young lady that has joined the crowd?" He had my dad totally fooled. But Andrew has used his cleverness and his good heart and his love of getting through tough times, forging ahead, getting that riddle unlocked, getting more than his fair share because he's earned it. And he used to be a commodities trader in the lunchroom in second grade. He had the hot lunch because we were at the income level for hot lunch. And his friends who had the nice home lunch liked the hot lunch. And he realized he liked their food better. So he would kind of bargain. And when I noticed he was coming home with snacks I didn't provide for him and money I didn't give him, I questioned, "Where's this coming from, Andrew?" So he explained to me. I get my hot lunch, I sit down at the table, and then my friends start to barter. Who'll give me what for my tater tots, my pizza slice, nachos? And he goes, sometimes they'll really offer 2 or 3 things. I come out with more than I can eat and some pocket change. And at first it bothered me, and I thought, no, future commodities trader. So,
Sorry about that.
no, it's okay. So Andrew has weathered these potholes and sinkholes of life. He was given some pretty good things to start with, but life tried to smack him around, but he smacked back harder. And he's used his traits and his talents to become this person that you all know as, well, I won't describe him any further because will get a little bit embarrassing, but I'm really,
Taking way past that.
I'm so proud of you, Andrew, and I am so thankful that all of you came here, some from really far away, to come and honor my son, my boy, my firstborn, and his beautiful, amazing bride, who I'm still not quite sure why you took him in, but thank you. And
The laundry and the dishes.
And to thank the Driggers family, because I am thankfully welcomed into your family through the vows that you have shared, and that melts my heart with happiness. You started something together, and you have so much more happiness ahead. And bless you all. And if you want more embarrassing stories, I still have more.
Give me this mic, girl. You are so done. 25 years, and girl, you put it on him. TMI, too much information.